I'm Bonnie Krebs, and I'm going to show you how to stamp and watercolor this daisy set. Now this is from a set, and it's loaded, by the way. It's a huge set. It is an exclusive with scrapbook.com, so there are 5 in this series. This is one of them. These are all available at scrapbook.com only, but we will provide a link so that you can go directly there and order this product if you'd like. So I think you're going to love this project. I'm going to show you how to do these daisies. Now, there are lots of ways that you can color these. I'm going to show you the fastest, easiest way, and I'm going to show you how to keep them white. So sometimes keeping things white is a little intimidating, and there are lots of colors that we could use for these daisies, but I'm going to show you this time how to do these white, and we're only going to need a few things. So let me show you. First of all, let me show you what else is in this series. So here is the daisy set. You can see these are the ones that we're doing right here. All of the rest of these can be colored the same exact way. So we're going to color on the stamp, and then we're going to pull that color out of the lines. And there will be videos for all of these, by the way. This is the cherry set. So this is also an exclusive with scrapbook.com. And all of these images are in there. This will also be on YouTube. The rose set, this is a beautiful one, and it is also loaded and has tons of things on here, lots of sentiments that you can use. And again, super easy to color. Also, we'll have a video on that. The hydrangea, love this one. And then this Christmas one, so the poinsettia set. Also, we'll have a video on that. But these all sort of work the same way. So once you get this technique, you're going to be able to do all of these, and super quick and easy. I mean, stamp it and color it in just a few minutes. And honestly, they look just like a real watercolor. That's the goal. We want them to look like a watercolor, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get started by stamping that image. And I've got it onto a block here. So I've placed my stamp, and by the way, this is photopolymer made in the US, so it is high quality photopolymer, and it will give you a wonderful impression every time. So we are going to start out by coloring the whole thing with a gray. Now this is a N65, this is a Tombow. I am using just 5 Tombow markers, and let me tell you what they are. This dark blue, so a cool blue, 565, cool green, 249, bright green, 133, another green, this is a warmer green, 177, and then this gray, N65. But you can use any water-based marker. They will work just fine. So we're going to start out with this gray, and I'm going to just ink the whole thing. I'm just going to go over this entire stamp with the gray, and use the side of your marker. It's going to go way faster than trying to color it with the tip. And then once this is all inked up, we're going to stamp it off onto a scratch piece of paper. It's just a little too dark, and we want to keep this image light. So I'm going to just stamp this off like so. And now I'm going to come back onto this stamp again, and I'm going to take my warmer greens. This is a 177, and I'm going to ink the leaves. And you can see on here where they are, especially after you stamp this one time. You'll be able to see the color on here. It sort of stains the polymer, so it makes it easier to tell. So all the leaves, the stems, anything that would be green, we're going to color green. And don't worry that it's perfect, doesn't have to be. And if you get a little bit of green onto the flower, that's perfectly fine. We don't have to worry about details like that, because these projects are so quick and easy and stress-free. Okay, so I've got all my green on here. And now I'm going to come into the center now with this green. This is the bright green, and I'm just going to ink this up just like that. Okay, so we are ready to stamp this now. I'm just going to huff on it to make sure that I activate this color that I've just stamped off, and then stamp it onto. Okay, so now we've got our image stamped onto the watercolor paper, and I'm just going to take a brush now. This is a watercolor brush, round tip, a number 4, and that is all we need for this project. So a brush and water, and I'm going to dip my brush now and pinch it off so that it's flat. So I don't want too much water on my brush, and I'm going to start out with the green, and I'm just going to pull the color out of the lines. Just going to take your time and drag this color out. So you're not applying any color here. This is all color that was in the lines, and now we're just kind of dragging it out. Do all these little leaves here, so fun. And this up here. And by the way, this is going to dry really quickly, but that's okay because the water will activate that color. So you could stamp it and walk away and come back and still do this process. It's so nice when you're going on a trip. You could pre-stamp a whole bunch of these and then just paint them. When you're sitting on a beach somewhere, you just need some water. Okay, so we've got that done. I'm going to add some color now to it. So here's the colors I used. This is the 177. This is the warm green. And the cool green. This is the 249. And these are Tombows, by the way. And then that bright, bright green that I love. This is number 133. And we're going to add some color now to the leaves because we don't want them to be all uniform and looking the exact same color. So we just want to add a splash of color to each one and kind of change them up a little bit. We don't want it to look like a stamp, too uniform. And you know, with a palette you can mix colors, so we can have a combination of the greens also. Love that. And just, you know, put the color on. You know, don't overthink it. This is supposed to be fun and relaxing. And it's honestly, it's amazing how fast you can do these. Just get that color on the stamp it, and pull the color out of the lines, and you're almost home free. Okay, so now I'm dipping my brush off, pinching it off again, and now I'm going to the flower petals. So I'm doing the same process here, and this is going to be pretty light, so kind of take your time and just work your way around, stay in each section. So don't take your brush and just drag it over the whole thing. You know, in other words, don't try to color in the whole flower with your brush. Just do each section. And pull that color out of the lines. So fun. Lots of petals on these little daisies. And we're doing them white, but it's fun to do them different colors too. There's lots of colors of daisies out there. And you could do some really bright colors. And just keep working your way around. Kind of follow the lines, and that color will come out. This gray is pretty light. And remember, we're doing white, so we're just doing the shadow of these little petals. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to put a little more of this green on here, this bright green. And we're going to apply this to the centers now. These little flowers. Try to leave some white spaces. It's always a good idea. Never color anything in solid. It will just make your image look flat. And let's add a little dark color in here as well. Kind of in the bottom, underneath. It's amazing how fast your confidence grows when you do these little projects. You know, when you start out, it can be very intimidating, but the more that you do, and especially once you get this technique down, the more confidence you get. Okay, so let's add a little blue now. So we're going to add this blue, and that's actually the shadow. That is the shadow. And so we're adding some blue now to the blooms. Just a little bit. And mostly to the center. Just like this. Just kind of follow those petals, you know, the lines of the petals in the center. The area in the middle is going to be the darkest, so that's where we're kind of concentrating this color. And all these little steps make it look more like a painting. Do these up here. And if you think you got it in here a little too dark, just dip your brush in water and pinch it off. And then just kind of blend it out. A little bit of blue in there. Okay, so let's add some color now to the background. And we're going to do that by, first of all, pulling the color out to the outside. So we're going to take this color here from inside, from on the edges, excuse me, from the edges of these flowers, and we're going to drag it to the outside. It's going to give us a little more background. Sort of adds another layer to the whole thing. Just softens your whole image and just takes it to another, kind of to another level. And then I'm going to add some of this now to the background. So make sure when you do this, you get enough water on here so that you can move this color. And I'm just kind of pushing it around. And it's okay if it's a little blotchy. In between here. You know, the best way to show that something is white is to kind of surround it with color. And that's sort of what we're doing here. It's going to pop out our little daisies. And you can add as much of this in here as you like. Let's kind of work our way down. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take my fine tip now. This is a fine tip. This is actually a twin tone, but you can use any fine tip marker. And this is a blue. And I'm just going to add a few little dots in here. Just to the center. And we're kind of accentuating that center area to make it look like it's darker in the middle. And I'm just going along a few of these little petals. And just accentuating a few. So fun. Don't stress out about this part. You know, just kind of follow along the lines. The lines are all there to guide you, and so you don't have to freehand anything. Just kind of follow those lines that are there. Okay, that looks pretty good. One thing left to do, and that's sign and date. So be sure you do that. Even though you're using a stamp, it's your own composition, and every time you do these, they're going to be different. So a stamp is just a tool. And I hope you try this technique. It's so much fun. And you know, when you want to do a watercolor, you want to do something that looks a little more like fine art. This is the way to do it. It's so much fun. And there you go. You can put that on a card base and or put it in a frame and give it away to someone. These sets, all 5, are available at scrapbook.com right now. So run over there and get yours. And I hope you like this video. I hope you try this project, and I hope you try this technique. Thanks so much for watching. I will be back again with another project, another watercolor project. So I hope you stay tuned. Thanks so much.